Kansas City Fire Department, and I am an EMT and a peer support member and an FTO, field training officer. I'm an EMT, emergency medical technician on an ambulance for the fire department. So that means I'm responsible for the equipment, making sure it is running and working. I'm responsible for the supplies that we have on the ambulance. I am responsible for transporting the patient to the hospital and getting me and my partner to the call. I also am a field training officer, which means I train new firefighters and new EMTs on the job, on not necessarily what they need to do, but how they need to do it, because they've already gotten their license, they've already gotten their certification. I'm just helping them transition their skills into the fire department. Well, actually, I want to say it was probably divine intervention. I did not know I wanted to be in the medical field until I actually saw an ambulance come into my store. I was an assistant manager with Blockbuster Video back in 1994, and an ambulance crew came in to return a movie, and I said, what do you guys do? And they said, well, come look at our ambulance and we'll show you. And I shut the store down. I went out and I looked at their ambulance, and they told me everything they did, and I asked them, how could I do this? Where do I get started with this? And they told me there was a school that started a couple of months after I talked to them, and I started that school. Then I graduated that next May, and 30 years later, here I am. It was their interest, and it was their enthusiasm in what they showed me. I wanted that. I had been working, I guess I was 23 at the time, and I had been working mediocre jobs, you know how you're and I wanted something more meaningful, and that sparked my eye. I don't know why, but I saw them. They were in uniform, they looked impressive, and when they told me their responsibilities and they told me what they got to do in their community, where do I sign up? I was just asking, where do I sign up? And I do a lot of the same things, of course, that they showed me that they do. I like being outside. I don't know if I want to have a desk job, so that's why it's fun, it's fascinating. I love the human body. I love anatomy. I love fixing it. I love seeing it broken. I don't like seeing people get hurt, but if I do see it, it's very interesting. The body is very interesting, and it does what it's supposed to do. So that's really interesting to me. It's a passion. I want to say it's a God-given passion because it's not something that I seeked out myself, like, I'm going to do EMS work. No, it came to me, and I've been doing it for 30 years, and I cannot see myself doing anything else. I don't want to do anything else. I teach now as well, so that's another aspect, and I've been doing that for about 3 years. About 3 years. I've been teaching through the University of Missouri here in Kansas City. I'm an EMS instructor. I teach the skills that they need to learn in order to pass National Registry. So it's a love, it's a passion. There are a lot of challenges, but none of them have made me question whether I want to be in this field or not. Nothing has made me question that. I think the only question I've had is, do I want to do it today because it's cold outside? Or not really many challenges. I think one of the things I can only think of is picking up the same person all the time because they can't take care of themselves. That can be very frustrating. And the challenge with that is we love taking people to the hospital, but you've got to come up with something to help yourself, because taking someone to the hospital every week or 2 or 3 times a month is not going to get them better. So I asked them if they need social services. That's one of the things that I can do. And it's a challenge because I can only offer it to them. I can ask them if they want it. I can talk to the emergency room to see if it's available for them, and they have to follow through with it. So that's just the biggest challenge, getting someone to where they need to be, but being able to follow through with all of their needs. I came to discover H3 at a festival about a month or so ago. I met Carla at that festival. I was, I guess, manning a booth representing our union with the fire department, and she came to our booth to get a whole bunch of good swag that we have on our table, and she offered her services, and I jumped on board. Like, where? When? Can we start today? So that's how I met. That's how I got started. One thing I can think about her introduction that made me want to jump into this was her eagerness to help us, her eagerness and willingness and passion to help other people that help other people, so that's what H3 is all about. And her enthusiasm, and she seemed really sincere about wanting to help me personally. My perspective on healthcare has changed over the years due to the lack of resources for some people in our community. The fear of being turned away because they don't have money to pay. My perspective has changed because healthcare has changed. It is more expensive, it's more complicated, it's not attainable by some of our community, by some of the people in the population, let's say the homeless population. They can't get healthcare, so they use the emergency room for their healthcare. My perspective has changed because we have to take them to their appointments. Not necessarily to that appointment, but if they have an appointment at a particular hospital, they'll want to get to the emergency room so they can make sure they make that appointment, which is a never-ending battle. My perspective has changed on the healthcare field because I think you eat your feelings. I think you eat yourself into a disease. I think people need to eat for health. There's so many different types of foods out there that are healthy. There's so many different types of food out there that are not healthy. And people are eating themselves into diseases, and they don't know what's in their food. So my perspective on healthcare has changed because food has changed, because transportation has changed. People can't get to the doctor. People that don't have resources, they can't get IDs, they can't get insurance, they can't get healthcare, they can't get mental care, they can't increase their finances. They just don't have a one-stop stop. They don't have one resource that can help them do everything that they need. And if they do have it, they don't have a way to get there. So those resources have to all come to them. And there's really no such thing as nurses coming to you, doctors coming to you, food coming to you, social services coming to you for everyone in the population. There are so many carcinogens in food. There's so many unhealthy things in food. And people, when they do get free food, it's not healthy. One thing I would change within the health field in my community is tell people to eat to live and not live to eat.